Ah, it's all fun and games. All right. Can you hear me as well? Awesome stuff. So, technical issues out the wazoo yesterday. Started recording some 4K HDR PC footage, thinking that I was creating some different templates that I could keep switching between in my OBS settings, and turns out I wasn't. And let's just turn these down a little bit. There we go. Thinking I was creating lots of different profiles that I could switch between, and it turns out I wasn't, and I kind of overwrote all my settings for streaming, which was not good. So, yeah, bit of a mess yesterday. I was tired. I'd been up by that point for about 23 hours, and I'm just like, you know what? My brain is too addled to try and figure out where I've gone wrong and try and get everything rebuilt in a quick and timely fashion. So I just decided to give up. I reset it up earlier today after doing a bit more recording. Still got a few gremlins to figure out, but I have a little bit more understanding of OBS now. Not a huge amount. Still got a lot to learn, but I'm getting there bit by bit, I think. Right, let's get our cars set up. I'm going to go with 13 and a 3.5. Let's go with 2 8s. Let's go with something along those lines. Going to try and run them for the whole session. Because it is a sprint, our first sprint of the year. Go. How is the audio balance between game and me? Am I too loud, too quiet? Is the game too loud, too quiet? Again, all my settings are kind of messed up, so.
Sessions should be starting now.
Oh, and to top it all off, I broke my microphone on this morning.
Loud and clear. Ready, check.
Alright, is up clear.
To just really cap off, a great night. So that new one that I've been looking at, thinking I'll get that in a couple of months, I now need to probably end up getting that as quickly as I can. Never rains, but it pours.
Copy.
surface temperatures currently looking quite low. Just say what you'd like on the bumps.
That's not encouraging.
We need to make some big changes.
49%.
Yeah.
Ugh. Really wanted to run them for the whole session. I might have to call him in. At least we got feedback really quickly. Let's go ahead and call him in.
Box. Stop your arms.
Yeah, copy.
See if we hear from
Everything
Oscar.
okay?
He's only at 54. Ah,
Understood.
better put too much rear wing on, haven't I?
Oscar, suggest to box this lap.
Okay, yeah.
Oscar pit lane.
Okay, so remember pit lane speed limiter. Pull up in front of our garage.
Okay. In we go. So, yes, we have gone very wrong on the wing. Let's do that. Let's send that way. Is that too much? Might be. I'm confused. Really confused on my setup here. I'm going to try that. I don't think that's right. Maybe it's that. It can't be any worse than what it was. Alright, now I'm really confused because this roll bar is very different. Very different. Don't have a lot of experience on this circuit in terms of the setup. I've only raced her a few times in the grand scheme of things. I just don't know where to go on this. How you doing, Victor? Good to see you.
tyre temps are still low.
Are you happy with temps?
We're happy to slide this tyre a little bit more, try and get it in the window. Feedback on the car?
That's some improvement, but it's not where we need it to be.
Is currently understood.
And now they have to stay out
How was that, Oscar?
because our track knowledge isn't high.
I think it's okay.
So
Copy that, Oscar.
got to keep them out there, and then hope we can fix it before the start of quali. At least our prep level will be a little bit higher than it's showing right now, because we've improved the setups, but even so,
Advise on the tyres.
still not going to be great, I don't think. Right, there we go. That's the end of practice. That was our one window to try and get the car as good as we could. '85 and '93. It's okay. Could be better.
Welcome everyone, qualifying for the sprint awaits us, and we're raring to get going.
So let's see, where do we go wrong? Oh wow. That wing needs to be down there. That won't necessarily be there. So that's the 11.5. That one's fine. So do I go to an 11 on this one? No, I think I go to a 12. Do that. Ooh, 4.6 or 5.5. I'd be more inclined to go with something like that, I think. Yeah, and hope that we've got it right. If we've got it wrong, at least we'll be able to change it. I mean, if worst comes to worst, we can always do a pit lane start if we've gone horribly wrong. But it's not ideal for a sprint to start from the pit lane. Let's take a look at George. We've gone too far on the roll bar there. Let's go to a 3.7. Let's bring that in a little bit more. Push that up a little bit more. Let's try that. And we'll send them out for a flying lap. See how we do.
Green light.
So it looks like first on track is Joe with Sonoda behind him, maybe? Or is it one of the Red Bulls? It's one of the Red Bulls. That'll be... Well, it's hard to say because the other one's just come out. Have a look. Ocon. Then George. Yuki behind George. Then a little bit of a gap for Oscar. So both of our drivers have got a little bit of clean air to run into. Just got to hope now that we don't get held up when we come round past the pits. A lot of cars already coming out. But it is quite a long lap, so there is definitely the potential for us to run into traffic issues. Still dribbling out, look. Still they come out, and that's one of the Ferraris popping
All
out
clear ahead.
right in front of us.
Good to go.
Good gap in front.
Let's go.
So let's see how we do with George. Take a look at his confidence bar. That looks like we've made a good improvement in the setup. And Oscar as well. That's good. I think we've got them both pretty close to being done. George actually goes quickest in the first sector. Quicker than Ocon. Ocon might have been held up by that Ferrari. Quicker than Oscar as well. Quicker in the middle sector as well. So it's not a great lap for Esteban if George has beaten him. So with a 131.9 from Joe is the target. Ocon goes 6 tenths quicker. George goes 3 tenths quicker still.
Currently P1. And we will box end of this lap.
Oscar goes to P3.
Copy.
He is considerably slower. 8 tenths of a second behind
P3.
George. Oscar may well have to run again.
That's a great
George
lap,
should
buddy.
be through. So why is there such a difference? Did Oscar get held up somewhere? Let's compare sectors. So 24.0, 23.4. So 6 tenths down in the opening sector. Down 2 tenths in the middle sector, 2 and a bit tenths. And then, well, nominal difference in the final sector. So most of the damage then was done in the opening sector. Maybe we caught the Ferrari as well, or maybe even a different car. But that will probably need another run from Oscar, just to guarantee that he does get through. Now we just have to time this right. Yellow flag for somebody.
Let's take a closer look. Nothing at this
Still
point.
empty.
And the control's lost.
Dropping it on the
Not a
exit there.
mistake they'll want to make again.
And now we have Mori popping out in front of us. Oh, actually, no, it could be either of the Ferraris. Again, they're both on track. It is Petit. Got a little bit of clear air between us, so that's good because we're going to be a lot faster than it.
Copy.
We do not want to be running into him. Here we go then with our second attempt at the lap. So we might be safe, but better safe than sorry. These cars are really going to get used in the city. So they can easily do another run, and it won't hurt us. Look how close we are to the Ferrari already. That's concerning. Purple in the first sector for Oscar. Just losing a whole bunch of time towards the end of the lap here. We can't clear it. We are closing in very fast. Gain just through that corner. Now we have the slipstream. Leclerc has improved to P2. Norris has gone top. Now Piastri goes top by half a second. So Ferrari actually giving us a really good tow there. Let's see if the quick controls I've programmed in still work. That will still work, so that's good. Evening, Daniel. We are through then with both cars. Both Ferraris are out, but one of them has made a little bit of forward progress up to P18. As they're light at the end of the tunnel, could Ferrari actually get a car into Q2 for the first time when we get to the main race? I wonder. Let's take a look at the setup values. 88 now. That's still off. So that's going to have to be a 6.4 then, I think. We'll try that at the end of this sprint. Up to 93 with George. It's pretty close. He's probably up to about 100% on his driver prep now. Porsche first, then Norris. Where is George? Where's George? Behind Sargent, ahead of Leclerc.
Circuit is all clear ahead now. Good to go.
Oscar, you've got a clear track ahead. You're good to open the lap.
Benchmark. Albon with a 132.0, that's slow. George is on 5.
Currently P1.
4 tenths quicker than Leclerc. Here comes Oscar. Solid lap from Oscar.
Oscar, we are P2.
Porsche had a bad lap.
It's a good lap. Normal fuel save on the in lap.
Copy.
Oh, I think we might be safe. I think we could probably stay in the garage.
So here we go, heading into turn 1. Very heavy on the brakes, but that's just the risk you take. The later you leave it.
Straight into a lockup. That's unexpected. And now spin.
Here's the replay.
Start of his
Here we've
line.
got the Aston Martin.
Or is that him coming up the pits?
Around they spin. And there's not much they can do about that now.
I think he was coming up the pits. So two drivers both having issues coming out of the pits. Sargent gets himself into the top 10. Can he stay there though? Evening, Farah. I'm very quiet. Okay, let me move my microphone a little bit closer. How is that? Better? No. Okay. Hold on. How about that? Any better? Much better. Okay. Yeah, as I was saying earlier, all sorts of issues yesterday, which is why I aborted the stream. I got my first episode of Indiana Jones recorded, and getting OBS set up to record 4K HDR off the PC was tricky. very tricky. And I thought I set it up as a separate profile so that I could just roll, flip over back to my streaming setup, and I messed up all my stream settings without realizing by doing that. So it was just a nightmare trying to get up and running. By that point, when I went live, I'd been up for about 23 hours. My brain was a bit foggy, and there was no way I was going to have to figure out how to get it done quickly. So I just got to bed. Just end the stream, call it a night, and fix it the next day, which is what I hopefully have done today. But I'm having to rebuild all my settings and trying to set them up with proper separate profiles now. It's tricky, but I think we're getting there. I might have just gone a bit too early with George there. We've got a benchmark from Norris, a 130.4. Ocon is just slower. And we will wait a little bit longer before we send out Oscar. Porsche now a second off the pace almost. I'm still quiet compared to the game. How about that? How about that? Is that better? Or is the game too quiet now? Trying to play about with the audio levels. I don't really want to turn the gain up on the microphone too much, because then it'll start to pick up the PC fan noise in the background. But I might have to, if the levels still aren't right. The other option is also moving the microphone closer, which is tricky given that I broke my mic arm.
Little bit of bunching. Good to go.
Crap, I just realised I hadn't sent Oscar out. How did George do? Oh, he's just starting his flying lap. Yeah, I'm using the proper mic, which is why I sound clearer.
Recharge off. Copy.
But the arm I mounted it on today snapped. So I need a new one. Right, George is coming round to finish his lap. And it's enough for provisional pole.
P1.
Sainz and Iwasa yet to cross the line, but I'd be surprised if either of them can challenge for pole position. So now it's probably down to what Oscar can do. He's just about going to make it across the line to start his flying lap. Here we go. We are away. No personal best in the first sector. Well, no purple sector for Oscar there. Sainz pops up into P6. Iwasa goes P9. Not a great lap from Iwasa, but he's in the top 10. Porsche is way off the pace. A lot slower than I was expecting him to be. Again, no purple sector in the middle sector there. Coming up to the final turn now. And the short drive to the line. And it's only good enough for P8. Ooh. I wonder if we just, because we didn't build the tyres properly. Maybe. Evening, Tiny.
Hello and welcome as our Grand Prix weekend continues, and the sprint will soon be upon us. Of course, this is the first sprint of the season, adding an extra challenge for the drivers and their teams. But as ever, in Formula One, an extra challenge is an extra opportunity.
And of course, the big incentive here is getting a few extra points on the board, with the top finishers in the sprint set to add to their championship tally.
Well, it's not too long now until the sprint around Shanghai, where we'll see who comes out on top.
I am not bad, Tiny. I am not too bad. How about yourself? All right, let's get ready for the sprint.
Here we go, the sprint in Shanghai. And it's lights out, and away we go.
All right, we've beaten Zhou off the line, so we're up to P7. Russell holds position at the start. See Porsche back over Joe now. Couldn't get the move done though. And he's developed a fault. Not even a lap down.
But there, oh dear, that's not what they need right
Porsche
now.
already has issues with the car. Norris is going to try and have a lunge into the hairpin. We're the only two on the softs. Everybody else, apart from Petit and Ferrari, is on mediums. Petit's on hards. And we have held the lead. Lovely stuff. This is going to be a trickier lap to hold position, though.
DRS enabled. DRS.
And Oscar has slipped out of DRS range.
You are currently P6.
Far ahead is Sainz now. Let's go get him.
He's 1.3 behind. You've got Gasly behind. 1.0 Gasly.
So really look after these tyres. Okay.
It is a nice looking car, isn't it? It does the job. It's something a little bit colourful as well, a bit more colourful than we've had. It's a colour that isn't really on the grid as well, which helps it stand out a little bit more. And the camel placement works really well. And there's a nice throwback to the days of the Lotus that inspired that livery, and also the Williams that had camel branding on its engine box.
Keep your head down. Push and hold it, overtake.
Alright, chance now for Oscar to move up. Sets the fastest lap. Trying to go around the outside of Sainz, which will then become the inside line. Use the battery, and through we go. And that move is done.
Sweet.
Good job.
Okay, that's P5. P5 with that lap.
Car ahead is Ocon.
Russell should get back in front of Norris now with the DRS. See if Oscar can move up another place. This is pretty much end of his battery.
Okay, recharge on.
Couldn't get by without the slipstream. And you see George having a look and getting past Norris, and completes the move on the exit of the hairpin there. We'll get a replay of that in a second, I'm sure.
So we roll. Nice job. Further.
You see him diving up the inside, gets the power down well on the exit. Can he hold off Norris though into turn one? Looks like it, yes. Just.
Use the overtake button.
We're not going to be able to drop
The pack.
Norris. And even if we could, Leclerc would just swoop past him. Oh, we have actually dropped him briefly. But yeah, Leclerc will just get past Norris and straight into our DRS. So there's no point trying to punch away at this point. Keep looking after our tyres. Make sure we don't drop out of range. Slowly trickle those batteries back up towards full. And try and push a little bit later. Norris gets back through. To be expected.
Got a line can do right here.
Oscar's still sitting behind the two Red Bulls.
Third car behind.
A reminder that my second channel, my PC gameplay channel, is live. First video goes live tomorrow on New Year's Day at 2 o'clock GMT. So please do check that out. It is the first in our Let's Play series of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So I do hope you'll check that out. Link is on my main YouTube profile here in the About section. There's a link to that channel. There's also a link in the Community tab. I recorded parts 2, 3 and 4 earlier today as well, so I'll get those uploaded tonight,
P5.
and we'll do a part a day every day until we finish that game.
Okay, that's
How's it run on the PC? Well, that is the $64,000 question. Don't know is the honest answer. Because I'm not used to that granular level of detail when it comes to choosing how to run something in terms of graphic settings. You know, the most choices I've ever had really in this is on PlayStation is, do you want to run it in performance mode or fidelity mode? Do you want to favour image quality or frame rate? That's it. So, yeah, I'm really not sure as to whether I'm running it at the best settings for my machine or not. I don't understand some of the terminology.
Ocon has DRS.
And you'll see me go through that in tomorrow's video. I also do put out a call for feedback in that respect based on the settings that I'm running. I mean, in terms of the frame rate,
Currently P1.
it's running at a variable frame rate. It goes up to about 100, drops down to around about 70. Occasionally it dips lower than that. It's a fixed kind of 60 frames on the cutscenes, but I'm getting a lot of screen tearing, and I don't know why. I don't know what is causing that and why, and what I need to do to fix it, what I need to change to fix it.
Got the clerk behind.
But they are, the recording is ironing out the screen tearing, so you don't really see it on the recording, but it's quite bad at times for me playing. And I don't know if it's because I'm recording that it's tearing, or just the way I've got it set up. So it's a whole new world for me, you know, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, what each thing does, how much of an impact it has. So, yeah, we'll see.
Everything's good.
Honestly, yeah, like I said, the honest answer is I don't know how well it runs. I do know that it cannot run 4K HDR and ray tracing, because I had it set up to where it was kind of comfortable, and then I turned on ray tracing and my frame rate dropped to like 5. So, yeah, I tried a whole bunch of different settings on the day I started recording a couple of days ago, and just did like 2, 3 minutes worth of play and recording and testing just to see what it looked like, and then changing some settings, closing the game, reloading the game to make them apply. And I think I've stumbled across kind of a happy medium, but It was important to me to try and do that game in 4K HDR. Other games, I may not bother with the HDR, may not even bother with 4K, but for that one, I wanted to try and make it look as good as I could. So it means the file sizes are pretty big, about 30 to 40 gig per episode before I upload them. And there's no fancy editing in them at all. It's just straight from OBS that's getting uploaded. How you doing, Wayne? Have I enabled VSync? Well, it's the thing. Sometimes it gives me the option to turn it on. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't understand why it does that, and then other times it doesn't. And I don't know if it's because of the way my graphics are set up in game or not. So yeah, sometimes I've had VSync on, and other times it's just off. It's very strange.
1.1.
You know, like I said, it's a whole new world for me, and I'm trying to find my way through it, one stumble at a time. But the game is gorgeous. It really is. I don't know if Harrison Ford actually voiced the lines from a script, or if he had his voice compiled by AI to read the lines.
Okay.
Haven't really looked into that. I probably should do, but it sounds really good. You know, it sounds like proper voiceover work, rather than Bill Murray in Ghostbusters, the video game, where it's so clearly phoned in. It's ridiculous. Right, we are probably ready to start punching our way through, because we've opened up a gap to the Red Bulls and we want to now leave Norris behind. So let's drain the batteries. Let's turn up the tyres as well.
Behind Piastri.
And let's see if we can get past Norris and break away from him.
Overtake is available.
George makes the move back through. Oh, is it Troy Baker who voiced him? Sounds just like Indy.
Look good. Currently.
So he did a really, really good job then. Unless they, let's say, used Troy Baker to deliver the lines and then used an AI program to change the voice into Indiana Jones. Because otherwise, it sounds really good. It sounds just like Harrison Ford. And Troy Baker, as far as I know, isn't... I mean, he's a great voice actor, but I don't know if he's particularly known for his ability to do impressions. But if that's unmodified Troy Baker, I am hugely impressed. I mean, I've been a fan of his, some of his work in other games, but yeah, if that's genuine audio that hasn't been tinkered with, it's phenomenal. Phenomenal voice work.
Good, good. P2. Okay, next car is Russell.
Let's just manage these tyres.
Copy.
Do we need to keep the lift and coast up a bit more now?
Just need a little bit more to break away from Norris. Try and close back in on George.
Car behind is Lando. Lando 1 second behind. There's still opportunities here. Currently P2. Next car is Russell. He's 1.3 behind. So Lando is now the car behind. Gap is 1.7. Pack is low. More lift and coast.
There we go.
Recharge on.
Job done. We've got our drivers back together. We have opened up a nice little gap for Norris. We've left the Red Bulls a long way behind now. So this should be a very comfortable 1-2 in the sprint. The race might not be quite so comfortable for us. It usually isn't on the sprint weekend, but
Next car is Russell. 0.8.
we'll keep our fingers crossed that we get a nice, comfortable result. And there's no real pressure in the championship, so we don't need to pull a Ferrari and tell Rubens Barrichello to hand over a race win to Schumacher after just round 7. So we'll let them duke it out, and whichever driver wins the sprint, wins the sprint. Might be a different story in the Grand Prix, but for the sprint, we'll let them fight it out.
Plenty to play for.
I'm not sure what you mean, Adrian. Is it me getting a multicolour in the game?
It has DRS.
As far as your comment earlier, Farah, ray tracing's not worth the hit. Leave it off. Yeah, I mean, I turned it off. It makes a difference if you can turn it all the way up. If you can't, it's usually not worth it, but you need more graphics power than we have if we want to go with that. So, yeah, I've not bothered with it. I rarely run ray tracing on the PS5, even though it is capable, because it usually means it kills the frame rate.
He has DRS.
You see some other colours flashing on the car and in the gameplay.
Look out for debris.
Where do you see the colours flashing? I mean, I'm trying to stream this in HDR. As far as I know, good crash. What's happened?
Here we are, going into turn 9.
Oh, Max.
Cutting it so close. And you can see how the cars come together. Now their confidence will have taken a hit with that.
Racing incident, I think. Max trying to squeeze someone on the exit there. Could possibly have left a little bit more room. But, you know, that's not his nature. When you see other, you see other colours flashing. Where and on which cars? My cars? Other cars?
still plenty of opportunities.
I am streaming in HDR. At least as far as I know, I'm streaming in HDR. And that shouldn't mean anything. I mean, I've got it up on my tablet in front of me just to keep an eye on the image quality, and it looks okay. Don't see anything funky going on with the color palette. What is the colour that you're seeing flash? Is it purple or pinky purple by any chance? Because that is something you see on some cars. You can see how it's green on the McLaren there. You see a red, green, orange. Where are you seeing it? Are you seeing it on the bodywork? Are you seeing it in a specific point on the car? So I know where roughly to look. On the nose and the wing when the camera changes to the side view. I'm not seeing anything myself, but... yeah, weird. Anyone else seeing anything funky with the colours going on?
Four laps to go. Currently P1.
4 laps left. We are comfortably ahead now of Norris. 7 seconds clear. Plenty of life left in these tyres.
Oscar Tyrant.
If anything, the gap's just going to get bigger and bigger.
Front left struggling a bit.
If you're downloading something, that might be... yeah, that might be causing the issue. I was in the middle of uploading videos, and it was killing the frame rate of the stream at the beginning, so I had to cancel those downloads. I couldn't figure out how to just pause them. I had to cancel them entirely. I'll have to restart them afterwards.
There are opportunities ahead.
Let's keep an eye on the two Red Bulls scrapping away. Charles is currently ahead of Ocon. Yellow flag. Please don't be my drivers. No, they're okay.
So we've got a yellow.
It's a
So
spin
this
for
is what
Maury
happened.
in the Ferrari.
Right, we're at turn 14 here. Whoa, and there
He's
he
not going to get in
goes.
anyone's way. See the suspension arms flexing a little bit as well in that replay, which is quite cool.
Okay, we don't want to lose too much time.
Don't scare me like that, boys.
So no risk. 2 laps to go.
Be careful with the car.
Captain Norris now up to 8.5 seconds. 2 Red Bulls still squabbling over 4th place at the moment. Porsche has got himself up into 6th place despite that issue that he's having. What is the issue? Engine. And that will probably carry over into main qualifying in the Grand Prix as well, unless it goes orange, in which case it'll be replaced. And that might be a grid drop. To the pit lane for that. Also, if you're looking for something a little bit fun, I did drop a new video earlier this morning called Mojo Madness. Mojo Jojo is someone I play with on Helldivers a lot. She has this nasty habit of accidentally killing her teammates with a whole variety of different weapons.
Yep.
Or orbitals. It's usually not intentional. Sometimes it is. So I put a little compilation together of Mojo moments and stuck that up there. It's mainly just for a bit of fun. Just to give you an idea of some of the shenanigans we get up to when we hell dive. There will probably be a part 2 at some point in the future. But I found my old Fun with Friends and Facehuggers video on Aliens Fireteam Elite and just rebranded the playlist, and I'm just going to throw a load of multiplayer moments into that playlist. So I'll have some more Helldiver videos going up in there at some point soon. The editing in the Mojo Madness was deliberately quite silly with the flames and the fireballs. It's very much a Mojo thing. As I say, she tends to accidentally set people on fire, be it with the rounds from her gun or dropping a napalm barrage too close to someone. So they were not like a creative change of direction for me as such. They were more a tribute to, to Mojo herself.
Nice.
And there we go. Sprint is over. We do get the 1-2.
Very nicely
Piastri does take the win in the end. Leclerc is going to finish ahead of Ocon. And Porsche should just about hold off Ricciardo and Sainz. The 2 Mercedes running 7th and 8th. So they will both score points here. Gasly in the end has to miss out in 9th. Zhou dropped all the way down to 10th in the end. And Sargent just about hangs on to 11th, ahead of Stroll and Verstappen. And the 2 Ferraris way at the back. There's Lawson There's Petit. And there is Mori, bringing up the rear. So, once again, Ferrari, bottom of the pile.
And a brilliant sprint win for Oscar Piastri today.
And what a well-deserved P1 finish that was. Absolutely outstanding.
So, confirmation of the final result. Oscar takes the sprint win from George. George with the fastest lap, which means absolutely nothing. Then Lando from Leclerc, Ocon, Pourchaire, Ricciardo and Sainz gets the final point. Then it's Gasly, Zhou, Sargent, Stroll, Verstappen, Tsunoda, Albon, Iwasa down 6 places. Van Dorn, Bottas, Perez, Lawson, Petit and Murray. A decent sprint race for Verstappen, up 8 places. Let's see if he can carry that form into the Grand Prix. And we'll have a quick ad break.
Hello and welcome to the much anticipated qualifying session.
The session will be divided into Q1, Q2 and Q3. With the slowest 5 drivers eliminated from each period, their best times will determine the grid for the upcoming race.
In terms of George Russell and his form, Karun, how's he going to be feeling, do you imagine?
Now this is a driver with confidence, and that's clear from their performance today. But will that confidence pay off? We'll have to wait and see.
But don't go anywhere, folks. It's nearly time for qualifying.
Okay, if anyone did see an ad, please do let me know. I don't know if my allocated button actually works or not. I hope it does, but if it doesn't, I'll have to do it something a little different. I just need to reboot my YouTube app. Oh, you did get an ad. Okay, thanks, Farah. There we go. Right. So, into the prep for qualifying. Let's see what we can do here to improve Oscar's setup. Let's go with that. I know you don't get them on premium, Wayne. But I still get to generate a little bit of revenue from them, from you. Not a lot. Not a lot from anything, really, but it all eventually should add up. We are set with Oscar with those changes. Let's put him on those mediums there. We'll set him for 2 flying laps. We'll go 2 flying laps with George. Let's go with let's go with that. See if that works. Again, we'll go with 2 flying laps. And out they go.
green light.
So Porsche's engine damage has become a permanent issue. As you can see, that fault has now developed into an exclamation point. So that is now a damaged engine. Shouldn't affect him too much, but if it goes orange, then that's the end of that engine. AI swaps them out when they go orange. So if it does go orange in this session, it will be changed for the race, but that may facilitate the pit lane start. Should facilitate the pit lane start. We'll have to see. So just Gasly and Perez on track with us at the moment. No, I don't have Total War Warhammer. I can't really afford to buy anything. Even the little games. I've got a few to work through. I've got a few different things in my wish list, but
All clear ahead.
you know, breaking the arm,
Yeah, let's go for it.
the microphone arm earlier today means that, you know, whatever spare money I've got now has to go towards that.
Good gap in front.
Plus,
So Oscar,
I need
open
to
that.
have anything, any little scraps of cash left over to put towards City Skylines 2 and Frostpunk 2 as well for the PC channel. So I don't know is the honest answer, Farah. I honestly don't know. I'm going to be really busy with a lot of, you know, recording and stuff over the next couple of weeks, trying to get a good handle on building up a library of videos that I can just upload one after the other across multiple different games, and still do live streaming and start doing some daytime streaming as well. So honestly, I don't know. It's the honest answer. I would have to have a look at the game in a bit more detail on the store page to see if it is something that I would actually play. I did play a Total War game about 15 years ago. I can't remember which one it was though. I think it had a Japanese theme. I don't know if it was Shogun or something like that. And even then, I'm not 100% certain that's the one that I bought, or if it was a previous, you know, that was like an upcoming one, and I'd got a previous version. Alright, so our first lap's not stellar. Slower than Gasly. And again, that's medium tyres against softs. Let's see what we do, if there's any improvement with this next lap. And if there is, if it'll be enough, or whether or not I'll need to go again on the softs, which I think I'm probably likely to have to do. Yeah, I'm kind of kicking myself in some respects because I was looking at buying a new arm a few days ago, and it was like 60 something pounds, and I thought it's cheap,
Still clear ahead.
you know, it's on sale, but I can't really justify the expense at this stage. I've got an arm that works. I still got the chair, the rest of the chair to pay off, and then I thought, you know what, a couple of days later, I'm like, I'm going to pull the trigger, I'm going to get it, and the price had gone up like 25 quid. It's now just under 90 quid. And I'm now that this one's just broken today as well, I'm kicking myself that I didn't go ahead and pull the trigger when I
Yeah, we saw that.
when I first wanted to. Oh, that was bad. We nearly hit the back of that Ferrari then. How we didn't make contact, I do not know. Oscar very lucky there. Has lost a bit of time in the first sector as a result. Max has gone top with the 130.6. It's not a bad time. George putting together a decent lap. Personal best in the first and second sectors. He's into peak confidence now. Not looking quite so good for Oscar. No improvements at all yet. So we switch our attention to George, coming up to end his lap. And that improves him by about
That's
0.4 of a
P2.
second. Not bad.
Yeah, we're happy with that.
Any improvement for Oscar?
And we
No.
will box end of this.
No improvement at all.
Copy.
How far into the game are you, Wayne, without any
That'll be
spoilers
P6.
whatsoever? Just, you know, how many hours in do you think
Think
you
you
are?
get pace.
I'm about 4 hours-ish, just under 4 hours into the game. But that's 4 hours of playing the game at my pace rather than just pushing straight through the story. So, not that far. But I'm really enjoying it. About 2 hours, so I'm probably a little bit further ahead than you, but not by much. Alright, let's get back to the garage. Wait for the Red Bulls to set their first time. Playing it on PC Game Pass. Or are you streaming it through GeForce Now? More problems
Right,
for
we're at
Ferrari
turn
driving.
9. That's the location for this one. The wheels just lock up there. They took a gamble, and it was just too late.
Ah, he has no business behind the wheel of that car. Oh,
Let's
lock
take a
up for
look at the
Logan.
replay. Let's have a look as we go
At the
into
hairpin.
the 13th corner. And there's the lockup. Just unable to control the car by that point.
looks like we're going to toddle on out behind Leclerc or Ocon. Ocon.
Warm the tyres where you can.
Yep.
Yeah, once I've got a few more episodes of Indy recorded and either uploaded or ready to upload, I'm going to start recording a Frostpunk playthrough, you know, for the PC version. The last episode of Empire of the Ants went live today. Story mode is now done. I had a lot of fun with that game. Really enjoyed it. I remember it piquing my attention when it was announced, and it sat on my wish list because it was a game that just looked like it could be really interesting, and
Cars on prep laps.
it wasn't quite what I was expecting.
Oscar, you've got a clear track ahead.
But it was definitely a fun game to play. A couple of levels were quite tricky to figure out, but for the most part it was pretty straightforward. And if anyone has an interest in kind of RTS games, if they want to play, you know, get a good multiplayer RTS game, that's a good one in multiplayer. And the solo experience is pretty good as well. If you're on the fence and you see it on sale, I'd say it's probably worth it. Alright, both drivers putting in good times here. George is currently purple in the middle sector. Oscar now takes that away. Oscar's going to absolutely obliterate the lap time here, getting this toe behind Ocon. Might even finish the lap ahead of Ocon here. Looks like the stay tucks up behind him. Sauber in the way.
So that's currently.
So it's a 130.3 for George as he moves top. Here comes Oscar. And he lost a bit of time. A fair bit of time in that final sector.
We are P2. Last lap was good.
Yeah, he lost 0.3 of a second in the final sector. Only just quicker in the middle sector. A little bit more comprehensive in the first sector, about 0.2. Alright, so we did get some improvement out of those setups. 94 and 96. And that will break more than it will fix. So we'll leave that at 96. And I overdid it with the toe. But glad to have made some improvements with that car and got it closer to 100. I'd say it's not a track that I have a lot of good backed up mental memory of setup on this one, because we haven't run it that often in the grand scheme of things compared to other tracks. But I'm pretty pleased with that. We're into Q2. let's start on mediums again. Let's go with those tyres. We'll do, again, a 2-lap run. Slightly better than the mediums we used in Q1. So theoretically, the times will be slightly better as well. Found out why you're getting performance issues. It's because you're using Wi-Fi instead of underneath. Oh, I could have told you that, Wayne. you're running a streaming, platform to stream the games, and then wondering why you're having issues if you're not hardwired in. Yeah, rookie mistake that. So we're going to whiz through these first 2 laps because, again, it's medium tyres. It's not likely to be good enough to get us through. Just want to get a time on the leaderboard. Oscar desperately in need of a good lap here. He's a long way off. George might actually be able to get through with those times. Be amazed if he can, but let's see what Oscar can do. He's still a way off, and you see it's just 3.5 tenths, and it's not enough to be safe. We're still waiting on Porsche, Leclerc, Ocon, Ricardo, Bottas to set times. They're not all going to be able to challenge, but well, there you go. Porsche and Ocon both have improved into positions above us. Here comes Leclerc. So he drives to the line. And he goes 8th. And now Oscar is in real danger of being eliminated. So I think I can probably get away with leaving George in the pits. I think we could probably save a set of soft tyres here. But Oscar will need to run again, especially now he's been knocked out by Valtteri.
Oscar pit lane.
Pit lane speed limiter on. Stop in front of the garage.
Going to take a gamble here with Oscar. These tyres are theoretically worth about half a second, which should be more than enough. Should be, being the operative phrase there.
Watch for Lando.
Copy.
So, going forward with daily Twitch streaming, it's still a little bit further away than I'd initially thought it would be. I want to make sure everything is set up properly in OBS before I even think about eating up time into that. It won't be an every single day thing. It'll be probably 3 days a week, maybe 4. Where I do some daytime stuff on Twitch.
Drive straight out.
Maybe Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays and Sundays, something like that. So that I have some days where I can get other stuff done. But I'm going to be probably streaming some PlayStation stuff. There may be times where I do additional bonus streams, you know, on certain days. But I'll have a base schedule of this is when I'm expected to be live, blah, blah, blah. If I'll put some games up on a list somewhere, and give you guys a chance to let me know what you'd like to see. I'll be streaming stuff from my back catalogue of games that I haven't got around to playing. Plus, I have a PS Plus Extra subscription this year to give me access to some additional games on top as well. So there is a chance of some games that I wouldn't normally consider, you know, even think about buying, making it into that list as well, because I'll have free access to them. So if there's anything on the list that you want to see specifically, do let me know. If there's any game you want me to stream specifically, if you're going to be watching, again, let me know. This has been a horrible lap for Oscar. It's been an absolute disaster of a lap. We're going to take manual control. I don't know if I'm going to have enough battery to go again, but we'll try. We'll cancel call in and we'll keep him out there at full pelt. See if he can find an improvement. I'm just going to be streaming some PlayStation stuff. To start with. And I'm probably going to kick off with God of War Ragnarok, because I've been meaning to play that for ages. And I've owned that game for a while and still haven't played it. So I may well kick off with a Let's Play on God of War Ragnarok. I don't know. It'll certainly be one of the first games I play. And stuff from that will probably get broken up into chunks and then uploaded onto YouTube if it's PlayStation stuff. Some live streams will get transferred over onto the PC channel if it's PC stuff. But the best place to see those is going to be Twitch. I may
Hack is low.
put them somewhere else. I don't know. We'll see. Right, we drive for the line. Have we done enough to get through? No, we haven't. Oscar is out in P11. Did improve, just didn't have the battery he needed at the end to get across the line faster than Van Dorn. That's frustrating. The Last of Us Part 1 is amazing and on extra. Yes, that's another game I'm going to be playing. I have got that on my hard drive now. So I may well do a Last of Us double bill. Because I played the PS3 version, I played the PS4 version. I haven't played the PS5 version yet. Alright, so George is through. And we didn't have to use additional tyres to get him through. So we'll use those scrub softs for the first run. And then we'll put a new set on for the second run. Maybe George will be starting from pole position again. Are we getting rid of the wrong driver? Well, based on results, no. Because Oscar's way ahead in the championship, but... Are we getting rid of George unnecessarily? Is perhaps a more appropriate question. Once again, both Williams have made it into the top 10. Could be another good afternoon for Williams. Mojo the Menace. How you doing, Fright? Good to see you. Take it you've watched the video then. Well, obviously you've seen it already. You were there when we put it together last night, but
You got a good gap ahead. Good to go.
I messaged Mojo earlier and said I'd made her famous. Oh, we have a yellow flag. Someone has spun out on... Was that on a flying lap? Who was it? And where was it? It's Teo.
Oh, all right so far. And the rear just lets go.
That's either finishing his hot lap or just about to start it. Either way, that has scuffed his first, his first run. He's either going to end the lap really badly or start the lap really badly. And he's aborted the lap. He's heading back to the pits. Yeah, so for the rest of you in chat, Fright is a fellow victim, shall we say, of Mojo Madness. He has been killed by Mojo on many an occasion. Sometimes deliberately, usually accidentally, but regardless, a lot of fatalities. Alright, George coming up to complete his first run. Let's see what time he pulls out. It's a 1:30.8. That will not be good enough for pole.
Currently P1.
But it's not a bad opening lap.
Box end of this lap.
Coming.
Let's get him back to the pits and bolt on a set of brand new tyres. And out he comes. So, can we get pole position? Let's get him round to the start of the lap. And here we go.
Good to go.
Purple in the first sector. Excellent. Little split coming up. And with purple again, we've got a real chance of pole position here. Looks like we might even get a bit of a distant tow from the car in front. And it's Joe, I think. No, not Joe. Not sure who it is. It might be one of the Williams drivers. Right, around the final corner, up to the line, and it is pole position. Just Gasly's in P2. What a great lap from Gasly. But it wasn't enough. Pourchaire goes up to 4th place. Just waiting on Van Dorn. I think he's actually on the way back to the pits. Let's have a look. Yeah, Van Dorn boxes. So that's it. That is the running order for the top 10. We have stuck it on pole position ahead of Pierre Gasly. Then it's Leclerc in 3rd. Pourchaire is 4th. Norris will start 5th. Then it's Esteban Ocon, Zhou Guan Yu, Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz and Stoffel Van Dorn rounding out the top 10. Down in 11th, out of position is Oscar. Hopefully he can fight his way through during the race. Then it's Albon from Bottas, Sargent, Ricciardo, Lawson, Stroll, Perez, Sonoda, Iwasa, Petit, and Mori bringing up the final row of the grid. Let's run a quick ad break, and then we will hit the start of the race. Farah wants to see me lose my shit on Demon Souls. Thanks, Farah. I've never played a Souls game. So, yeah, that would be an interesting experience. Right. Race day.
The 56 laps of the Shanghai International Circuit await our drivers here in China.
Shanghai has seen its fair share of clashes over the years, one of which happened even before the 2005 race had begun, when Michael Schumacher collided with Christian Albers on the way to the grid, sending Albers into the air.
Shanghai International Circuit is a complicated low-speed track that demands high downforce. The series of rapid turns from 1 to 4 demands high grip, but the more the drivers warm their tyres, the more degradation they'll have to deal with. It's race day, and final preparations are underway.
All right, let's have a look at strategy. It's going to be, I think, medium soft. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go medium soft. That's our strategy for Oscar. George will go soft medium, I think. Let's put in just one extra lap of fuel. Push on the starts. Push the tyres. For George, again, just one extra lap of fuel. Push the fuel, but not the tyres. And we are ready to send them to the grid for the start of the Chinese Grand Prix.
The anticipation is really building here. The fans in attendance are absolutely buzzing with excitement. And here's George Russell, focusing on the race ahead of him.
They're on pole, and it's well deserved. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do.
This should certainly be a good one, folks. It's almost time for the Chinese Grand Prix. And it's lights out.
Oh, Gasly's starting on hard. It's going to make him slow off the line. He's going to get swallowed up. Leclerc's got him. Porsche and Norris squabbling with each other as they're trying to line up a move on Gasly. Piastri gets up the inside of Van Dorn, so he's gained a place. And expect Russell and Leclerc, even just pushing like this, well, not even really pushing, to break away from Gasly on those hard tyres. And that will hopefully make it easier for Oscar to get through with some well-timed battery deployments as well. And Norris has got through against Gasly now. already he's dropping off the back. He's going to be probably about a second behind Norris by the time this lap's done, if not more. Porsche and Verstappen, the next two cars behind. Evening, Patkins. Oh, someone going very wide there. That was Joe.
Currently P1. Low. 0.4.
Overtake available.
Yeah, copy.
See if we can punch our way through. Couldn't quite dive up the inside, but we can go around the outside, and that is Sainz dispatch. Piastri up to P9. Leclerc is in front of George.
Keep your head down. And
I'll
overtake
give
is
George a
available.
bit of battery.
Copy.
And Joe's out of DRS range, I think, so this should be a very straightforward overtake here. Should be, but that's a hell of a launch out of that corner there for Joe. He's off and away. DRS is now open. We'll start to close him back up, but that was a bit of a surprise. And we didn't get the move done there. George moves back into the lead.
Nice job.
Come on!
Goes around the outside there. Fastest lap for Teo. Evening, Clark. And this time, Oscar will go up the inside. We have a yellow flag. As Leclerc gets back in front of George. Now, what caused that
Oh,
yellow
we've
flag?
had a crash.
We've got a crash. It's a two Ferrari. Of course, it's a two Ferraris. Clumsy. Very clumsy.
The team glued to the monitors and watching their hopes crumble away.
Shocking start to the year. Continues for Ferrari.
Watch for debris.
My feeling is we don't have the pace.
George recommend we start bringing the battery pack up.
It will be a racing incident there for Ferrari. No penalties given to either driver.
Nice one.
Nice job, mate. So that's currently P1.
Just about, not quite, on the back of Ocon. We are out of battery now as well.
Pack is low.
Got to hopefully get past them or get back into range this lap. We're under pressure from Zhou. We've got fireworks going off outside.
Norris behind.
10:30
Recharge
at
on
night.
is good.
Still an hour and a half till the new year appears. Well, just over.
Recharge on.
Just lacking that a little bit of pace with Oscar on these tyres at the moment, so we'll cool them down. We'll rebuild the battery and just stay tucked up behind Joe for a couple of laps. George doing what he needs to up front. See Leclerc's tyres pretty hot. Norris is in much better shape. Part of that's down to him pushing, part of that's being stuck in the dirty air. You can see Oscar's tyres really are quite hot at the moment. 120 degrees, definitely need to calm those down.
Yep.
It should move back up into the lead, well, into 8th place here.
This up. Currently P1.
Maybe not. Didn't get the launch out of the hairpin. Maybe into turn 1 though.
He has DRS.
Okay.
Oh yeah, easily alongside on the inside line. Should convert, and does, and goes into peak confidence. We may well lose the place almost immediately again, but we got that confidence boost, which was the important thing. And we did actually manage to hold the position. Oh, I didn't realise I didn't have battle assist on. There we go. 3.5 seconds to get to Ocon now, who has dropped off the back of Porsche and Gasly. Max now up to P4. He's got a bit between his teeth again. And we have a yellow flag, and I think that's Sargent.
Yellow, yellow.
No, it's Stroll. So Sargent's picked up a little bit of damage all on his own. Probably hurt his underfloor, unless his engine is dying on him. Let's have a look at where Logan is.
Got Norris behind.
There he is in the Alpine.
There's still opportunities there.
Yeah, it's not his car. I don't think he's got wing damage. So he's damaged that underfloor. Not a great part to damage at the best of times, but this early in the Grand Prix, really not good.
You can start pushing.
Recharge on. Yep. Copy.
Time management all good so far.
All right, let's start thinking about pushing onto Ocon. You're going to hear a lot of, rattling from the mic tonight, unfortunately. Apologies for that. Can't be helped.
Use overtake.
Doing my best.
Norris behind.
Right, can we get the DRS? I think we just missed it. But we are very close. We've got the slipstream. We're using the battery. We might still be able to get the move done here.
If this continues like this, don't go ahead and overtake.
Keep your head down.
And we do get the move done, indeed. Lovely stuff. Turn the tyres back up again now. See if we can break away from Ocon. Start hunting down Gasly and Porsche.
Awesome.
Hot
mate.
Suave Jim on the mic. I think I prefer that to Got Suave.
And reminder for
So
the
we
recharge
gapped
button.
Ocon. About 2.5, 3 seconds behind Porsche.
How's this tyre?
Feel okay.
We've just about dropped Leclerc. Let's push. See if we can break him.
Overtake is available.
Catch him out. Norris moves on through. And Leclerc's pace has really fallen off because Norris has always left him behind as well. And that's the reason why. Look at the state of those tyres. He's got Max sniffing around the back of him now. just about out of spare fuel. We'll keep pushing for another couple of laps. But we are going to need to turn that down again soon so we can start to build some reserve fuel up for the final stints and the fastest lap attempts. Fastest lap is currently held by Valtteri Bottas. It's a 1:36.8 set on lap 4. Yeah, nobody's even close to that at the moment. Well, George isn't too far away with a 1:37.2, but who knows? Maybe this lap he'll actually take it. Well, 1:37.3. So, no, is the answer.
Currently P1.
Let's put him into top up now. Let's ease the fuel burn down. Got a 2-second gap to Lando Norris, who has left Leclerc for dead. He's 4 seconds off now. And with Verstappen all over him as well. There's Gasly and Porsche. We're a little bit further back. Might see us in shot eventually. There's Oscar. Can Max get through against Leclerc, who must be boxing very soon? Tyres down to 37%. He might do another lap. May do a couple more laps, but he's really starting to struggle now. He is going another lap. There's a chance for Max here to get him into turn 1. Has a little half-hearted look, doesn't commit. Very un-Max-like behaviour there. It's getting those tyres getting a little hot. Let's cool them down again. We did a bit more gradually this time. Russell continues to lead after 11 laps. Has a 3-second gap now to Norris. And then another 3.5 seconds back is Leclerc with Verstappen. Gasly's caught up as well. Porsche isn't too far behind either. And now Piastri is almost in range of Porsche. And we have our first pit stop of the Grand Prix. Sergio Perez is boxing. Getting off those softs. Leclerc's gone round again. And it's a bad stop for Perez. Problem with that front right tyre. and it's a big spin on the exit of the pits. He pushed way
Now
too
we
hard
can
on
see
cold
what
tyres
happened.
into turn 1
Now this was at turn 1.
and immediately drops it.
Oh no, that's not how to do it. And that certainly wouldn't have been in their plans today.
And the mechanics are like, seriously, dude, what the fuck? All right, let's see. What's that done to his tyres? It's taken 10% of the life out of those tyres just going into turn 1. What a disaster. We are on the back of Porsche. Let's rebuild the battery again.
Recharge on. Copy.
Verstappen has gone in front of Leclerc, who surely is going to box. He does. Leclerc is in. Let's see if he does what Checo does. He's going medium. It's a decent stop. Van Dorn's coming in now as well. And so is Lawson. Hard tyres going on for Stoffel. Decent stop. And that's a good stop as well. Now we know Ferrari mechanics have been good all season. It's about the only part of their team that has been good. And that again was a very tidy stop. That might be the quickest stop we've seen so far. It wasn't far off, was it? 2.3 seconds. That's easily beatable, I would imagine.
We want good pace. Okay, use deploy.
And some of these cars in front are getting ready to box. So we want to try and make a move before that happens. You see Max has only got another lap or two with him. Porsche maybe a lap longer. Zhou boxes from just behind us. Another good stop for Iwasa. I don't know if Bottas had a problem. I don't think he did. Oscar's pit stop window opens up on the next lap.
Good job.
We are in front
Good stuff, that's P5.
of Porsche, going after Verstappen. Gasly's tyres coming back to him now. Those hard tyres, wrong tyres to start this race on initially, but he managed to stay with the pack. It didn't drop down too far, and he now has better tyres than some of the cars around him. That said, Max has the DRS and moves back on through. We are right there as well now.
We're ready for you.
And Max is in.
Verstappen is exiting the pits. We are ready for you.
Yep, copy.
And Russell's got a big gap over Norris now, nearly 6 seconds.
Pack is low.
George could easily win this Grand Prix. I mean, there's still a way to go. George still has to put on the mediums. Oscar's getting them out of the way early.
Something's not gone right in the pits.
Problem for Science in the pits. Came in for a set of mediums. And that left rear just not wanting to come off. Finally get the car on. And away he goes. Not a happy Spaniard.
Your recharge on is good.
Copy.
And Oscar's in really good shape at this point. About 7 seconds off for Russell. But with the mediums out of the way now, he's been able to come through the field quite nicely. He's almost a net P2. Almost. And Norris and Gasly both boxing.
Gasly's in pit lane.
Pack is low.
Copy.
Make sure we get the pack back.
Yeah.
Decent stop for Lando. And decent stop for Gasly, but he was held. Ocon has come in and changed to a set of mediums. And let's really push Oscar now.
Maximum pace now, maximum pace.
Yep. Copy.
You see Porsche behind. Engine now escalates up to orange. And we have a retirement. It's one of the Ferraris, I think. Did he just do what Perez did, but with much more spectacular? I think he did. Yeah, he came out the pit straight in. Oh, and we can time this
Delta positive.
beautifully. George has just gone through, so we can't do it with him, but we can box him on the next lap round. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's make sure he has a full battery, some extra fuel. Let's box this lap for Oscar. And let's see what Maury did. Well, I know exactly what Maury did.
And yes, we have. We've had a crash. What happened there? Okay, so heading into turn 1 here.
Yeah, he did exactly what Perez did, except he went into the barrier.
There. Thankfully, though, they come away from that unharmed.
So it was a really unusual kind of thing that we saw with Perez, and now we've seen it twice. And one of those has been a retirement. Porsche coming into the pits behind us. This needs to be a good stop. Oh, beautiful. 2.0.
So we've got
Lovely stop. Decent stop for Porsche as well.
look out for debris.
And we get out just in front of Charles Leclerc. That has worked out so
That's
nicely
P4.
for Oscar Piastri there. Beautiful stuff.
Okay, Leclerc is the car behind.
And not the fastest stop. Norris's stop was actually fractionally quicker than us. But certainly the second quickest stop we've seen so far.
After the tyre.
Let's tell George. Did we tell George to come in?
That's
Yes, we
currently
did.
P4. Car ahead is Albon. 1.5. 0.4.
So George is going to come out still in first place. Ricardo hasn't boxed yet. Will probably box under the safety car, as will Albon. Oscar's P2. He's going to be a little bit of a distant P2, but he's P2. It's brilliant considering stuff in the weather. 1.957. What a great time for George's mechanics. Ricardo has stayed out. Why? Albon's got the right idea.
So that's currently P1. Gap behind 2.8.
That's a decent
Now
stop.
we're keen to pick up the man.
VSC's ending. Let's get those tyres up to temp.
VSC ending.
Copy.
DRS has been enabled.
Leclerc's going to go on the attack straight away. Got a 5-second deficit to
Happy
Ricardo.
drop, lift and coast.
Yep, fine.
Less than that.
I was going to suggest reduce a bit. lift
Our
and
tyres are
coast.
not in the right temperature window yet, but they are very much the better tyres. Despite that, brand new soft tyres for Oscar. Very, very warm tyres for Daniel Ricciardo. Good chance we'll get jumped by Leclerc here.
Okay, car temperatures are good.
Copy.
That's okay.
Remember recharge.
Copy.
Plenty to play for. Verstappen now the car behind.
And finally, Ricardo comes in a lap too late. Decent stop. And he will feed out just in front of Van Dorn and Albon.
And Oscar, the pack is good.
New fastest lap for Sergio Perez at 136.8. And now Iwasa immediately takes that away from him with a 136.6. We have another yellow flag. It's,
So here
what
we
is
go,
it?
heading
People
into
coming out of
turn
the...
one.
You know, this one is actually a little bit different, but...
Struggling with the car. Now, they did leave it very late.
Look at that. Just locking up. A lot of people making mistakes into turn one tonight. Leclerc has got through and left us behind while we were harvesting, and I wasn't paying attention. Responding to a message. And there goes Verstappen. But we're in a comfortable position at the moment
Overtake will be available.
Yeah, coming.
for both drivers. George nicely at the front. Leclerc's tyres have already seen a bit of use, a bit of action, as have Max's for that matter. We have very good soft tyres for both of our drivers.
And that is P4, Oscar. Next car is Verstappen. Zero point nine.
We'll get back past Verstappen here. See Max trying to cover the inside, but we find a way to squeeze through anyway. And let's stand on the battery.
Take available.
Yeah.
Get back onto Leclerc again. New fastest lap of the Grand Prix for Lando Norris. So 135.6. Times are dropping.
Recharge on.
Copy.
I think I've been sat down for too long. I'm struggling to get comfortable. Shifting around a lot in my seat.
Use overtake.
All right, let's jump our way back up into second place here. George's confidence has just naturally ebbed away as we go up the inside of Charles. Down to just about starting level. Let's give George a flying lap.
Good job.
This
Keep
is
going.
probably going to be the last best opportunity he has to set one for a while. Plus,
2.5.
we need to open up a little bit of a gap
That was fastest
for
lap.
Oscar to chase into, so that we don't just bring Leclerc along with us. Personal best for both drivers in the first sector. George pushing harder. But has less confidence in the car right now. Looks like George could well be setting the fastest lap here. Went purple in the middle. Around the final turn.
You are the fastest man on track.
It's a 134.4. That's a full second quicker than Oscar, who did have the fastest lap the previous time around. Put him back into top up. Let those tyres cool down a bit. Let's
Covering.
cool down Oscar a little bit as well. Max has gone in front of Leclerc. So Norris and Leclerc have been struggling a little bit in terms of their pace here. I thought they would be quicker than they have been. Maybe their engines aren't in as good shape as ours. Let's see if that is the case. So Oscar's engine is at 50%, George's at 50, Norris at 60. Oh, wow. We have a yellow flag briefly, and Leclerc's at 51, which is about the same as ours. Is that Petit with the damage to his car?
We're
It is.
watching the Ferrari. Things were all right here. And there goes the steering. What caused that, I wonder?
He has damage to his car, and I think it's possibly underfloor. Unless it was the tyres. It might have been his tyres. Maybe that was what tipped them into the danger zone there. Yeah, his car looks okay. So my guess is that those tyres dipped below 30% with that lockup. And he's getting close to being lapped. Look, he's just coming out. There is George coming over the line. So we're going to lap a Ferrari. We're not even at half distance yet. Keep an eye on Verstappen here. Williams have really turned their fortunes around this year. They were absolutely abysmal last year. Max, in particular, had a horrible season last year. Only scored 2 points all season, finished bottom of the standings. He's been reinvigorated this year. Multiple point scoring finishes already, and high point position finishes as well, not like just scraping into the top 10. Gasly's getting some decent results this season as well. Williams picking up some very good early points this season, as Max looking to get himself into a provisional podium spot. Goes around the outside into turn 1.
Suggest increased LICO.
Copy.
Okay, maximum pace.
Any other battles for us to keep an eye on? Ocon's down in 10th. It's not been a good race for Ocon. He's on mediums right now. Let's take a look at his powertrain. Again, it's similar to ours, similar to his teammates. Porsche might not make the end of this Grand Prix if he can't keep those engine temps under control. They have cooled down a little bit recently, but as you see, they were climbing up consistently until about lap 21, and then they cooled down from that point onwards. Just a little bit here, a little bit there. He is in clear air, but he's dropping a long way off the back. He was fighting with his teammate just a few laps ago. Now he's 10 seconds behind him. We just caught it in the background there. Gasly slipping up the inside of Lando Norris. So Williams now 3rd and 5th. What a great result so far. If it were to finish like this, that would be an amazing result for
We
Williams.
must increase the level of lift and coast.
Yeah, copy.
Let's go flat out.
And he's immediately straight onto the back of Leclerc as well, who I think has just lost the DRS to Max. Williams are about to go 3rd and 4th here. Dives back into the slipstream to get another bite of the toe. DRS wing opens, and now he is through. Can he nail the exit? He can. He's lost some ground to Verstappen though, so he's going to be vulnerable back onto the start-finish straight into turn 1. But he's safe. He's comfortable. George now just a little bit behind that Ferrari. It's about to get lapped. Ocon drops down to 9th as Ricciardo jumps in. Porsche has lost yet more time to Norris. He's now 12 seconds behind, lapping over a second slower. He's about to get blue flagged. See him just drifting inside a little bit. He knows he's about to get blue flagged. "32 seconds behind Iwasa." Max is pushing. Yes, he is, Adrian. He was on a flying lap attempt, I think, or at least trying to close up. Still a long way behind. We don't need to push to respond yet. Petit worries the crap out of me because he looks like he's going to try and stay with / unlap himself, and last thing I need is him making a mistake, locking up and taking out George. So we're going to try and break the toe
Overtake available.
so he doesn't get that opportunity. Oh, he's staying with us. Look at him. He's all over the back of us. I'm getting worried. I'm worried he's going to make a mistake and take out Russell. He's on pretty good softs. They're in better condition than ours because he boxed quite recently. $137.3 for Max last time around. Let's see what he does across the line this time. Oh, it's a slow lap. It's a 138.6. He's backed off again. So is Gasly. The tyres definitely struggling compared to ours. Leclerc going to be in again soon.
safety car. George, recommend we start bringing the battery pack up.
I look away for 2 seconds and we get a safety car. What did I miss? Sergeant. Sergeant
Just
is
focus
out.
on brakes for now.
It's a little early for us to box. That looks like a car that's just died. If that's just a random fault. I don't know. Where is he on track? There he is. That's a really weird place to stop. I wonder if his car just shut down. For whatever reason, that's really rare to see just a straight out retirement when the car didn't look to be in any kind of trouble. Can't figure out what would have caused that unless he bounced off that barrier back onto the track, maybe. But I don't see any big damage to the car. Right, it's a little early to stop. We can get away with it with George, no problem at all. We can just do that. Didn't really want to do that with Oscar. But I guess we might as well. Right, where is George? There he is. We'll do that. We'll leave the fuel in balance so that we don't pick up too much spare fuel. And let's box for mediums. With both of them. We've got so much life left in these tyres.
Charge the pack.
Yeah, copy, all good.
Safety car is leaving the pit lane, so if we don't box this lap, we will lose out because we'll get picked up by it this lap.
Oscar pit lane.
So it's George. 2.3. It's not blisteringly quick. It's pretty slow, actually. 2.2 for Oscar. It's not bad, but I don't think it's going to be good enough. Evening hyperspeed. Thank you very much for the Happy New Year's. About 46-ish minutes away from New Year. That is where I am. Everyone else diving into the pits as well, apart from Petit, who is staying out. So he will
Currently P2.
have to be let through before we get back underway.
Is Russell. Okay, Leclerc is the car behind. Pack is high.
Copy. Tyre temperature's still okay at the moment. We're happy at this tyre temperature. We'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Key thing is to keep the tyre in good shape. Keep the tyre in good shape.
Just save a little bit of life in the tyres at the beginning of this. With the extra fuel that we got, we will
Copy.
probably just put the tyres in setting 2 and burn the fuel for the first 6-7 laps or so, maybe. We do risk being overtaken from behind, but I would imagine those that can go onto hard tyres will do so. Max has gone for mediums. Maybe he thinks he can stretch his tyres out like we're doing. But Leclerc, Norris, Gasly, Ricardo, Porsche, Ocon all gone onto a set of hard tyres. Albon on the softs may need the box again. That'll be an interesting one to see. I imagine he will. Then it's mediums for Zhou and Tsunoda, hards for Sykes and Van Dorn. Bottas down in 15th place. Not been a good weekend for him so far. Medium tyres for him. Stroll and Lawson also on hards. We've got Perez on a set of mediums there, and then it's Iwasa. And Petit has now boxed on to a set of soft mediums, so he came out just in front of George. I didn't actually spot him boxing. He bossed the box at the same time as us and just got out in front of George. Sorry, in front of Oscar. So we are going to have to let him go through before we can go back up to racing speed. He's the only car that's been lapped, and the car that's likely to get lapped, and there's still a chance he might get lapped again. Still enough time in this race for that to possibly happen. Let's take a look at Porsche's engine temps. This safety car is not going to be good for him. He's going to be getting a lot of dirty air. Temp up to 115 degrees. It's not disastrous at this point, but the longer he stays stuck in this safety car train like this, the bigger the damage to that engine, and the higher the likelihood it is just going to get, turn around and go, oh, for fuck's sake, and just give up. And it's another lap at 115 degrees. Is he cooling? Is he putting a lot of extra fuel in the car? Let's see. We are at 43 kilos. He's at 40, so he can actually afford to bank a little bit more fuel if necessary. Having said that, we are 2.5 kilos over, so he's only shy by a little bit at the moment with race distance fuel. A reminder that tomorrow the new channel gets its first piece of content. part one of my PC playthrough of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle goes live tomorrow at 2 p.m. UK time. If you haven't yet subscribed, then there is a link on the About page of my YouTube profile and also in the Community tab. And I will post a link to that video in the Community tab tomorrow when it does go live as well. Do hope you check that out. And I will be putting something new on the PlayStation channel soon, this channel, in terms of a Let's Play. I've got a couple of ideas as to what I'm going to go with from the PlayStation Plus extra catalogue. But nothing concrete just yet. The T has been released. He is now going through the long turn 1 snail shell. So safety car will be in at the end of this lap and we will be back up to racing speed. Let's take another quick look at Porsche's engine temps. Still 115. It's the first couple of laps after the restart that's going to potentially be dangerous for him because he's going to be pushing, but he's going to be stuck in the dirty hot air of Ricardo. And his temps could start skyrocketing over the next couple of laps until he hits some clean air. With the whole field bunched up like that, though, if he gets overtaken, he's just going to end up, getting a brief respite before more dirty air is in front of him, and then more as he keeps dropping down the order. There is Petit reaching the hairpin. And there is the notification we were expecting. Safety car coming in this lap.
Overtake to get full deploy.
We're going to have full batteries, which is very nice. We've already saved a little bit of tyre wear against the prediction. And we're now controlling the pace. Kind of. Safety car has peeled away to head back to the pit lane. Bernd Mailander putting his foot down.
Flat out.
Copy.
Use the pace now.
Safety car in.
See everyone just sort of concertinaing a little bit, and we are off at racing speed. No overtaking till we cross the start-finish line. And Leclerc and Norris behind us on those hard tyres. So we've potentially got a little bit more grip. But we are running a lower pace setting than standard, and they are probably running a higher pace setting than standard on those hards. So when it comes to outright grip over these next couple of laps, we'll be at a slight deficit. I'd like to think we've got enough pace in the car to just pull away anyway at some point. We seem to have been able to do that quite well here so far tonight. Oscar has a little look at George. Doesn't go full kamikaze into the corner, for which I'm very grateful. We may well get him into the hairpin here as he pulls out of the slipstream.
The car behind.
Gap 0.7.
And doesn't get it
Plenty of
done.
opportunities.
He's on the brakes. Goes side by side.
Overtaking is very, very difficult.
There are opportunities ahead.
That's not a bad shot. That could be the thumbnail.
DRS
And
enabled.
Leclerc now is going to start pushing to make a move of his own. Oh, that motion blur, it's horrible. I hate it. I wish I could turn it off. I wonder if it's a setting that you can turn off on the PC version.
Next car is Russell.
Gap 0.7.
It's so bad, it's just so over the top. Right, Piastri will get the move done this time. He's got the DRS. What will Charles do? Will Norris be able to capitalise? Verstappen has dropped out of DRS range. We've got a yellow flag. Is that the Ferrari again? It is.
Now we should be able to take a look here. Now we're down at turn 9. Well, you can see the lockup, and they ended up their own passenger.
Piastri is through. George in second. Just losing the DRS, I think. And that could leave him vulnerable. Here comes Charles. Not quite close enough to have the lunge.
Car behind Clerk.
Gasly and Verstappen have switched places. Gasly in 5th, ahead of Max now. And they're back onto Norris again. Ocon is past Porsche. Let's take a look at Porsche's engine temps. Up to 118 since we got back up to racing conditions. Look. That engine is slowly getting roasted now. It's just going to hasten the demise of it. Increase the likelihood that it will just give up. And now Albon gets through as well. And this is the end of Porsche's race, really. He's about to drop out of the points. He's going to struggle to stay with anybody. And pushing hard to try and stay with people and staying close in the dirty air without being able to actually get the overtakes done is going to completely crucify that powertrain. At this point, I would be retiring Porsche rather than leaving him out there. Because he's clearly not going to be competitive enough to stay in a points-paying position, or at least a decent points-paying position of any value for a team that's trying to compete at the top end of the constructors' standings. And if that engine pops, there's a chance that it takes a gearbox or an ERS with it, either partially or fully. We've got half an hour to go till the end of the year. We'll have another 18 laps to go after this one. Wonder what will happen first. Will the race end or will the year end? Place your bets now.
It has DRS.
Right, let's try and stretch our legs a little bit.
We think there's
Break
still
away from
opportunity
Leclerc and Norris.
We have overtake available.
Okay.
Might need to up the tyres slightly. Let's take a look at our tyre wear against the prediction. If we go another couple of laps like this, and then we can up them slightly. Get to the end of lap 40, I think, and then we'll turn them back up to normal. Just about dropped Leclerc. We've got a yellow flag behind us. It's the Ferrari again. It's another safety car.
Okay, we don't want to lose too much time.
And now we've got way too much fuel again. Let's rebuild the batteries. I could have pushed earlier if I'd known that was going to happen. There is Petit in the barrier. So both Ferraris have spun off into turn one.
Virtual safety car.
Let's have a look at that. Now this was at turn one. And that's the moment the car plows into the wall. And that's
Almost
not
identical
what they would have
crashes.
had in mind when they woke up this morning.
I think when he woke up this morning, he was thinking, how the hell am I still driving for Ferrari? How have they not fired me yet? Maybe I need to try harder. Well, mission accomplished. You've given them a better reason. Oh, he's got a mechanical fault as well.
Well, yeah, right. It certainly looks like they've developed a fault.
No shit. The car's hanging on by a thread there. It's out. It's gone. Oh, and again, this is not good for Porsche. It's not going to get any real cool air into that engine.
Okay, but there's a lot of debris on the circuit. Go very slowly, take care.
These stones on track.
And he's stuck in hot, dirty air again.
So, Oscar, we are currently P2. Next car is Russell.
1.1 now.
1.5.
17 laps to go from here. 17 laps to go from here.
Engine temp did drop slightly, but not enough. We do have just about enough of a gap once we get back up to racing conditions to not give Leclerc DRS. As long as we push on the restart, make sure he doesn't try and close us back up again.
Yeah, Roger.
Pack is high.
Okay.
And let's not forget as well, it is a VSC, not a full safety car. So as soon as it goes green, DRS immediately will be active again. No having to do a lap first. It won't activate if you've already gone through the activation zone for that zone. But the next one will be fine. So if we're halfway down that back straight, running it to the hairpin, and it goes green, we wouldn't get the DRS on that straight because we'd already would have gone through the activation point. But this one would be absolutely fine.
P2.
And there we go. There is the
Car is Russell.
notification.
1.0.
We need to stamp on the accelerator.
1.7.
Make sure that gap
Total safety car ending.
stays over 1 second to sharp. See if we can drop it.
DRS this lap.
There's still opportunities here.
Porsche now down in 13th place. George tries to cover the inside line.
Looks okay.
Oscar switches to go around the outside
Okay.
and gets that move done with style. Leclerc has been passed by Norris as well. Ricciardo's got himself ahead of Max. So Mercedes have got another car up there. Porsche dropping down another place. Down into 14th now. Struggling to stay with the cars in front of him. We're down to just 15 laps to go. I'm going to make this a flying lap for both of our guys. See if they can push that fastest lap a little bit better. It is currently not showing. Why won't it show what the fastest lap? There it is. A 134.4 is the current fastest lap. Porsche's engine temperature immediately back up to 118. There is every chance that car will die before the end of the race. Oh, and there's a new fault.
And as far as we can tell, they've got a fault with the car.
It's not a terminal fault, so it's not the engine. It could be gearbox, it could be ERS. Let's have a look if we can guess. I would guess it might be the ERS. We'll have to wait until he crosses the line to get confirmation as to what the fault is. A 133.4 and a 133.9, so we took another second off that fastest lap time, which is just as well because Leclerc would have beaten it. Albon dives into the pits to get off those softs for a new set. He's going to have his work cut out for him if he wants to get anywhere near the points. And we've opened up a nice 4-second gap.
Let's get into the tyre call, please.
Decent stop for Albon. It is the ERS that's playing up for Teo. I thought it might be. I think he's still under-fueled as well. He's down in 13th place now. Struggling. Just going backwards.
And if you could just give us tyre feedback.
And let's make sure they don't take any silly risks. We'll leave them to it. Again, we've said it every race so far this year. This could be George's final race. So we'll let him fight for the chance to win it. We've got a nice little lead in the championship over Leclerc. Would be ideal if Oscar won it. But it's far too early in the year. It's only round 5. It's way too early to start implementing team orders in that respect.
Yeah, he did get DRS.
When we don't need to. Porsche getting back in front of Van Dorn, up to 12th place. That gives him a little bit of clean air as well. He's about 3 seconds off the back of Sonoda, so that'll help with his engine temps as long as he can stay ahead. But I don't think he will. Van Dorn is alongside him and through. So, more dirty, hot air into that engine bay.
Next car is Russell.
And McLaren should really be thinking strategically here in boxing, but the AI doesn't think like that, so he won't. He'll keep going till he either ends the race or his car ends his race for him. Been a disappointing afternoon for Esteban Ocon as well. He's only 9th. He hasn't really looked like challenging for the upper points positions. He has a little look at the back of Zhou there. He should get this move done here on the back straight, given that he has DRS. And Zhou is isolated with a 3-second gap to Max. There he goes. He has not been the dominant threat in the Red Bull team this year. As expected, Leclerc has assumed that mantle. But even Leclerc has looked a little off the boil this weekend. We still have more upgrades to come as well. Before we can complete this first round of development upgrades. It's also far too early in the season to write the opposition off and say that this will be an easy championship for both drivers and constructors, because at one point we thought it might go that way last year, and then reality slapped us in the face, pulled our trousers down, our underwear over our heads, and says, And there's another yellow flag. Is that Van Dorn spinning out? Just locking up.
Let's see
Cost him
what
a couple of
happened
places.
there. Here we've got the Aston Martin. Everything's all right here. The brakes couldn't cope. They were just unable to do much about it.
And he's not done his tyres any favours. He may box. He may now box for a set of soft tyres. Try and go a little bit quicker towards the end. Let's see what decision he makes with that. Staying out for now. Gap back to Norris, just over 4 seconds.
Fuel is okay.
Leclerc coming under pressure from Gasly. Verstappen's starting to slip back a little bit. Down to 8th place now. Ocon's got the jump on him. He criticised Ocon and he seems to have come alive. Up to P7 now. And closing in on the back of Daniel Ricciardo. And then it's a short hop, skip and a jump to Gasly and his teammate. Maybe there is another twist in this one. Porsche's temperatures, they just skyrocketed. I think that engine's getting very close to giving up entirely.
Starting to see signs of some overheating.
Next car is Russell.
We could be about to lose one of the McLarens here.
No hop done.
Ten laps to go. George and Oscar still squabbling over the lead. They drop their tyre pace down a little bit more. Valtteri now gets up to P12 ahead of Teo Porcher. The last thing he needs is to be stuck on the gearbox of a car in front of him. Is Ocon sizing up the back of Ricciardo's Mercedes there. Sainz has got himself up there as well. We're seeing another late push from Mercedes. They got 7th and 8th in the sprint, taking the last 2 points positions. They could be on for better than that this time round. 6th place for Ricciardo is currently worth 12 points. I don't think he's going to hold... No, sorry, 8 points. Don't think he's going to hold it. I think he's about to lose the position on the run up to turn 1. But even 7th is worth, you know, a decent chunk of points. It's worth 6 points. Ocon thinks about a look at the inside, switches to the outside, can't get the move done either way, so he's going to have to sit behind again. Good nerve there from Ricciardo, holding his line, not giving in to fear of being overtaken. Sainz is on for 2 points, so yeah, decent little result building for Mercedes here. Lord knows they need it after last season. Terrible year for them last year. And Norris and Gasly have left Leclerc behind. He's now over 2 seconds back. Just in front of these two. There is Leclerc, isolated and on his own. Still 3 kilos overfueled. Yeah, we're going to finish heavily overfueled here. Here comes Ocon. Feints to the inside, switches to the outside. Ricciardo holds his nerve and his line and keeps the place. Can he do the same again at turn 1?
Still plenty of opportunities.
Chops across the front of Esteban there. And it's allowed Max and Sainz to get right onto the back of them again. And this time he sweeps around the outside, and that is finally move done for Esteban Ocon. P6 now. Porsche's engine temps still 124. Perez is boxed. This will be for a set of softs. That's a good stop. Let's take a look at the stop times. See if we're going to make the leaderboard tonight. We have the quickest stop with George. Oscar's stop of 2.07 is up there as well.
We think there's still opportunities here.
And we'll be bringing in a new year in less than 10 minutes.
Fuel.
Norris has left Gasly behind now.
Next car, Piastri. Ahead 0.2.
135.4. Quick lap from Norris, a slower lap from Gasly, dropping out with the DRS there. Tsunoda dives into the pits. Anyone who stops now should be going onto a set of soft. There's so few laps to go. And yet, Valtteri is going to need to box, I think, at this rate, or risk a puncture. It's a slowish stop there for Tsunoda. It's not going to trouble the leaderboard at all. Yeah, Valtteri's tyres in really bad shape. Porsche will move back up to 11th when Valtteri boxes. Assuming that his car keeps going. It's on borrowed time at the moment, and somehow it is still running. I don't know how. Engine temp up to 125 at the end of that last lap. It's cooking itself. But it's stubborn. It's just refusing to go quietly into the night.
So Piastri next car.
Is Valtteri going to box? Norris has closed the gap to us a little bit more. Let's turn our tyres back up.
We need to push.
Valtteri stays out. Porsche stays in a dangerous, gap.
It's P2. So next car will be Piastri.
Max and Ricciardo still just in touch with the Red Bulls.
Gap for 3.5. Ahead 0.4.
Ricciardo hang on to the DRS there? I think he did. No, he didn't. He lost it. So Max is going to go through here.
Be 4 laps to go when we cross the line.
But he's too far off Ocon to get the DRS himself. So now he's going to be vulnerable to a counter-attack here from Ricciardo. Keeps him at bay. Ocon is now in the DRS of his teammate. Valtteri finally relents and is coming in to stick on a set of soft tyres. I'll be curious to see whether or not he thinks he's going to have enough pace to take the fastest lap away from us. I think he could. Okay, stop for Sauber. Nothing too special. Nothing too slow. Did what it needed to do. Max has got back in front of Ocon. Now he's in prime position to take a run at Charles Leclerc. So Williams could be getting back into 4th and 5th again here. Gasly has fallen too far away from Norris, I think, now to try and catch him back up. We are keeping Norris at bay. Gaps at just over 3.5 seconds. We've got 4.5, well, 4 and a bit laps to go. We're about to start lap 53. And through goes Max Verstappen into P5. Williams looking to absolutely crush
4 to go.
Red Bull and Mercedes in terms of points scored here tonight. The only team that will score more than them will be us, I think. They're on for 22 points right now. And we have a yellow flag, and it's Ricardo. What has happened to Ricardo? He's spun off at turn 1. God, this is just a car killer, this corner. Forget the Wall of Champions. This is Dead Man's Curve. This is 3 cars that have died on this corner now.
VSC. Just need that delta positive.
Tyres just let go. Oh, that's a heavy hit.
Okay.
Will that be upgraded to a full safety car, or will it just stay a VSC? I am worried as well
Right then, we can take a look now.
that some of the cars behind
Okay,
us
so
may
heading
take
into
this
turn
opportunity
1
to
here.
dive into the pits. Look how hard he hit that wall.
Oh, that's where they hit the wall. And they'll have to pick themselves up after that.
Ricardo's developed an issue. No shit.
Okay,
Thanks for
there's a
stating
car
the
in
obvious there. And again, Porsche is now in a position where he's stuck right on the back of
He's
another
saying
car.
okay on the radio. Possible
How is that engine still going? Norris, Gasly, Verstappen, Leclerc, Ocon could all decide they want to take this opportunity to box for a set of soft tyres.
Norris behind. So again, 5 seconds. So we've got 4 laps remaining.
I don't know if they will or not. There's not enough
Key thing is
time
keep the
really to
tyre
come
in good
back
shape,
through the
keep the
field.
tyre in good shape.
Just reduce your speed.
Coming.
We should be able to open up enough of a gap. If anyone does, that they even if they were to go flat out for the rest of the race, they wouldn't be able to get anywhere near us. No one in the front group has boxed.
Just give us some feedback on the tyres.
Fireworks are going off all around me. Don't know if the microphone's picking any of them up or not. You might hear a faint noise like popcorn or something going off in the background, but I can hear them through the microphone.
We're happy with the temps.
And once again, all that spare fuel is just coming back to us again. It's going to be a pretty comfortable victory for us, a pretty comfortable 1-2. And still the question as to which driver is going to win. Because we're not going to impose team orders. Leclerc has dropped down to 6th place, but is close enough that he could catch Verstappen out. Everyone's tyres, apart from ours, and a couple who've stopped for softs, are in pretty rough shape. So no one's really got the grip to make a big challenge.
VSC ending.
Copy.
We're going to try and set a new fastest lap if we can.
DRS.
133.4 is the
Start.
current fastest lap. As we hit midnight, that is it. Happy New Year. The race did not finish before the year. Happy New Year to you, Patkins. Happy New Year to everybody in the chat. Oh, Oh, and that is underfloor damage for Oscar. He got pushed wide by George coming through there and damaged the underfloor. Is that one of my new underfloors? I bet it is. Or is it? I think it is. It's frustrating picking up a damaged part. It's the downside of letting them fight, is that they have a tendency to push each other wide in the corners. Getting their elbows out. The gap to Norris is now up to about 7 seconds. Somehow Porsche is still running. Engine temps are back under control. He looks like he had a temporary overheating issue on the car as well.
Very difficult.
Unless it was just running at the VSC that allowed it to cool down a bit. A 1:33.6 for George. Not enough to break the fastest lap. Slower for Oscar, but he does slip on through into the lead now. We're on the final lap. Max has got ahead of Gasly. The two of them are far enough ahead of Ocon that he is outside of DRS range, but he's got in front of Leclerc as well. Leclerc has just lost all of his pace in this Grand Prix. It's been subtle and steady decline. A new fastest lap, god damn it, from Valtteri Bottas. I said he would take the fastest lap away from us, and he has done. He won't get the bonus point, but it takes it away from us because he's not in the top 10. 1:33.0, 4/10 quicker. We're out of battery. The tyres are overheating. We've got a damaged underfloor. We are not going to be taking that fastest lap back, I don't think. Not without some kind of miracle. George slots up the inside to take the lead with just one corner to go. And in what could be, tongue-in-cheek here, what could be his final Grand Prix for us, he has won the Chinese Grand Prix. Oscar takes second place. Lando Norris will take third to round out the podium ahead of Max Verstappen and Pierre Gasly.
Astounding. I don't think anyone would deny them their victory lap after a race like that.
Check your flag. And that is P2, Oscar.
Nice to get ourselves. Yep, thanks guys.
Great job. Okay, so box this lap, and when you get to Park Ferme, you need to turn the car fully off.
Oh, and Yuki steals the fastest lap on the final lap, a 1:32.8. He also will not get the bonus point outside the top 10 there. Oh, and Bottas takes it back. A 1:32.5. And that is everybody home and across the line now.
Have to say, George Russell looked excellent out there.
That was a really well-executed race, I thought. Major credit to the driver, the pit wall, and the whole team for that win.
The team has been waiting patiently there, and you can see just how much it means to each and every one of them. And right now, it's the British driver who proudly takes his place on the podium.
And that's excellent, seeing both the team's drivers up there on the podium together.
And that's the podium complete for the Chinese
Is that the
Grand
last
Prix.
trophy that George lifts this season? If so, it's a good one to win. Good one to lift, the winner's trophy.
Well, Kareem, do you think they'll be feeling in the team garage at the end of that?
I doubt they could be much happier. A win and a podium place. What a great way to round out the weekend. Coming up next, the teams will be taking a trip to the Sunshine State. The Hard Rock Stadium is laying down the track for a captivating race at the Miami Grand Prix.
So, confirmation of the final result. George gets his first win of the season and what could be his last win of the season, ahead of Oscar Piastri, who started in P11, ended up in second place, scrapping with George for the win all the way through there. Lando takes third to round out the podium ahead of Max Verstappen, up 4 places to take fourth. Gasly in fifth, just about hanging on, as Ocon pushed him all the way to the line there. Charles Leclerc has to slip down into 7th place. So, disappointing result for him. Zhou gets 8th, then it's Carlos Sainz in 9th. Albon getting himself up into the top 10 for the final point on those newer soft tyres of his. Then it's Stroll in 11th place ahead of Yuki Tsunoda, who briefly had the fastest lap at the end there for all of 5 seconds before Bottas crossed the line and took it straight back. Porsche somehow made it to the end of the Grand Prix. His car was in all sorts of trouble for such a long time. How that engine didn't explode, I do not know, but he makes it home in 13th place. Then it's Lawson in 14th, 15th place for Stoffel Van Dorn, 16th for Valtteri Bottas with a 132.5 for the fastest lap, which was nearly a full second quicker than our best effort in the end, which was a 133.4. Then it's Iwasa in 17th place. Not a great weekend, really, for Sauber. They've had some really strong performances this year. Not so much tonight. 16th and 17th. Bit of a slip backwards for them. Perez takes 18th. Then it's Ricciardo retiring in 19th at turn 1, as did Sylvain Petit in the Ferrari. Logan Sargent, his car just giving up somewhere around about the exit of turn 3 for a reason I'm not quite sure why. And then Masao Mori also retiring by slamming his car into the barriers at turn 1. That's very much proving to be dead man's curve at this circuit. In the Constructors' Championship, 26 points for Oscar across the full weekend, including the sprint. He's on 120 points. George gets 32 points this weekend, onto 104. Is now 26 points behind his teammate. Charles Leclerc gets 11 points and is on 60, half the score of Oscar Piastri, the defending champion. And Max Verstappen in 4th picks up 12 points. He's just 7 behind Leclerc in that Williams. Lando Norris level on points, picking up 21 this weekend. Moves above Ocon into 5th place. Ocon himself has 46 points. Then it's Gasly up 1 into 7th with 23 points. Zhou dropping down into 8th. Sainz up 2 places for 9th. 1 place and 1 point ahead of Lance Stroll. And Alex Albon a further point back in 11th. Bottas has 12th place. 13th for Porsche, who did manage to get some points in the sprint. Tsunoda 14th, then it's 15th for Van Dorn, 16th for Ricciardo, 17th for Iwasa, 18th for Logan Sargent. Liam Lawson up 1 into 19th, Perez dropping down into 20th place. And then the 2 Ferraris, Masao Mori in 21st and Sylvain Petit in 22nd. Let's take a look at the Constructors' table. We are top with 224 points, a whopping 58 for us this weekend. Red Bull with 23 points gained puts them onto 106, more than double their score already after just 5 rounds. It's been a very, very strong start to the year for us. Williams looking good in 3rd place as well, 76 points overall, 14 points ahead of McLaren in 4th. Then it's RB in 5th with 18. Alpine tied them up in 6th place, also with 18 points. Then Mercedes in 7th with 17, overtaking Aston Martin tonight. Then Sauber are 9th, Haas are 10th, and Ferrari very much last at the moment. We got 1st and 6th in the pit stop challenge as well, so that's an extra 33 points for us in the DHL competition tonight. McLaren getting some strong points as well, 28 points for them, with Porsche and Norris picking up 10 and 18 respectively. RB getting a good chunk of points from Sonoda there with a 2.0 stop, 15 points for him. Ricardo gets some good points from Mercedes. Alpine get a couple of points thanks to Zhou's stop there with 7th place. Red Bull 8th and 10th, just 5 points for Red Bull tonight. Max getting the other 2 points for Williams. So we are top now by 35 points. We stretched our gap quite nicely, outscored Red Bull by 28 today. Mercedes in 3rd on 70 points. McLaren up 2 places into 4th, jumping above Ferrari and Haas. RB also jumping up 2 places above Alpine and Aston Martin. Williams in 10th get their first points of the season. And so it's Sauber in 11th, who are the only team now yet to score any points in the pit stop competition. And there you see our stops. A 2.0 stop for Oscar, his first stop. 1.95 for George. Very good to see. Very quick competitive times for our drivers. And then a 2.2 and a 2.3 on the second round stops. Not ideal, but we did the work we needed to on that first round. So all's good in the end. Both drivers do get their sponsorship payout. George gets his contract bonus for the first time. $250,000 bonus for George for winning that Grand Prix. So we end up with 1.7 mil added to our bank balance. Our helipad refurbishment is complete, and that is where we are going to end tonight's stream. It's been a good year for our live streaming. We've had some fantastic races throughout 2024. Let's hope that 2025 is going to provide us with even more exciting races. Thank you all for staying up late to watch me. We are well into the new year now. I do appreciate you being with me and keeping me company. So Happy New Year to you all. I will be back tomorrow at the usual time of 8 p.m. in the UK for round 6 as we head to Miami for the second sprint race of the season. A reminder, let's not forget that the new PC channel's first video goes live tomorrow at 2 p.m. in the afternoon UK time. That will be part 1 of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I hope you will definitely check that one out. I look forward to getting some feedback from you on the game, and also on my cry for help when it comes to understanding PC graphics settings. And so, yeah, if you check that out, that'd be really, really good and much appreciated. Link to the channel is in my about phase or about section on this channel in the links. It's also on the community tab, so you can find a quick and easy link there, as well as a link to my Twitch link there as well. I will be back on Twitch at the weekend, but until then, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I will see you all in the new year.